Hello and welcome to Chuck's Diecast Car and Model Reviews. Today we're taking a look at a model of the Jaguar XJR9. This particular model is made by AutoArt and is in 1/18 scale. Now the XJR9, in my opinion, is one of the more iconic race cars of all time that raced in, well, one of the best racing series of all time, which would be the Group C racing category of the late 80s, early 90s. These cars were just super high tech, incredibly powerful and fast, and there was a nice variety of cars that raced in the series as well. This is back in the era of the Porsche 962, the Sauber C9, the Mazda 787, and so on, and of course the XJR9 here. This car did win Le Mans, and it also won the 24 Hours of Daytona when it also raced in the IMSA series. When it raced in Group C, it had a 7-liter V12 engine in it with about 750 horsepower. That got it up to a speed of about 245 miles an hour down the Mulsanne Straight. And actually those types of speeds are the reason why the 2 chicanes were added onto the Mulsanne Straight in this era, basically to slow these cars down. When they raced in IMSA, they had a 6-liter motor, but still, I'm sure, a serious amount of horsepower. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at this model. I did buy this model used, so it does have, various flaws. It has some chips and little bits of spots of dirt here and there. The windshield is not as scratch free as I'd like, but it's still a very cool model, and I do quite like it. Well, let's go ahead and take a look here. First of all, from the side, you will see this marking here instead of the classic silk cut lettering on the side. That this marking was used in countries where cigarette advertising was not allowed. So it does take a little bit away from the model in a way, but this is how it did race back in the era. It just doesn't have that cool silk cut wording on the side, but it does have the silk cut colors. You can see here that one of the interesting attributes of this car is these covered wheels, which is part of the appeal of the car as well. When you take a look at the front wheels, just to get a look at more detail, you will see that it does have drilled rotors, and the calipers, they are kind of hard to see because of the sizes of wheels back then, but they are there. And of course it does have the branded Dunlop Denlock tires. Detailing at the front here is very nice. The headlights look very good for the time. They did put the markings there for, I guess, screw holes holding down the plastic headlight covers, which is nice. The brake duct here is mesh, and the graphics all look very good as well. Nice of them to put this ECU or whatever that is there on the dash. So it's additional detail, which is cool. You can see here the scrutineering sticker there for Le Mans on both doors, and then you'll see the names of the 2 drivers, John Nielsen and Martin Brundle. I don't know anything about John Nielsen, but Martin Brundle was, of course, a Formula 1 driver who raced for several teams, and also he is now one of the commentators for Sky Sports for Formula 1. So he's had a long career both in racing as well as television. You can see here other details on the rear deck, like this fuel filler. There's one on either side. More badging here for advertising, and all that looks pretty good. And I do like that they've also put in these holes in the windows for ventilation to make it, of course, correct as well. Taking a look at the back, you can see here that aerodynamics wasn't advanced as it is now. I mean, the rear wing is just this big, gigantic single element wing. You know, in modern Formula One cars, you know, they have 4 elements, 3 elements, or whatever. You know, and then the Venturi tunnel, as you can see here, is just kind of a big hole. It doesn't have various strakes, you know, which direct the air in the direction they want it to go. Exhaust is pretty interesting. They have that dual exhaust next to the supports for the rear wing, blowing downward, which seems to me would kind of affect the downforce. And then in between the two exhausts is the piston for the air jack. I do like the fact that they have this XJR9 V12 stickers here in the rear, I guess to remind the cars behind them, you know, here's why you're behind us. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the engine here. This rear wing does come off, and probably makes it a little easier to remove this, but I'll see if I can get this off. No, it didn't work. The rear wing did come off, but we'll go ahead and expose this engine. Detail on here is, of course, excellent here. Take a look at this. You can see, you know, the nice velocity stacks there for the V12. You can see the fuel rails here, this anodized blue color, various hoses and so on down here. You know, electronics boxes or whatever that is there, or maybe even a, you know, some sort of a reservoir. Shielding here for the exhaust. All that looks very good. Here's the filler for the fuel tanks. And then you can see here the rear suspension. By the way, the carbon fiber decals from back in the day weren't nearly as good as they are now, so it looks a little bit on the cheesy side, but you can see, you know, the nice detail here for the rear springs, the rear suspension, and, you know, bracing here for the rear suspension as well. And these are scoops for cooling the brakes back here as well. So again, some nice detail back here. Now when we take a look at the interior, let me go ahead and open the doors for you. You'll see, interestingly, that the doors have this fabric strap, which is kind of strange, but you can also see a lot of nice detail here in the interior. Again, here's this sort of old type carbon fiber decals here. The detailing here on the steering wheel is very nice. You can see the Momo decal in the center there. Let's see if I can get it to focus a little bit better. The pedals look very good as well. You can see that, yes, this is the late 90s, or late 80s, excuse me. So this car still has a manual transmission. You can see the shifter as well as the shift rod for the shifter right there. So that's very cool to see. Again, you know, you've got this less quality of carbon fiber decal there, as well as the sort of Kevlar decal for the racing seat, but you can see it does have nice fabric seat belts as well as a nice buckle there for the seat belts. When you take a look at the other side here, you'll see another sort of reservoir and again a nice view of the interior there. So very nice, nicely done here on the interior of the car. So really that is all there is to see of the Jaguar XJR9. I hope you enjoyed this review, and if so, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Have yourself a great day.